Good morning, class. Today this lesson is going to be about invitational writing. The task, conditions, and standards for this class is that at the end of this course, you will be able to demonstrate your knowledge of invitational writing. You will also get a chance to share your experiences by sending an invitational letter out and be able to greet each other in your own homeland customs and courtesies. Okay? The objective of this class and the relevancy of this class is that we're all teachers. We're all educators. And at some particular moment in time, someone is going to ask us to write an invitational letter. And we can't wait on the principal to tell us that you got to send out an invitational letter to the parents. It's the first day of school. It should be something that we should instinctively know based on our education proficiencies. All right? So we're going to get into a little project right here. First of all, I'm going to ask all of you all where you all from. So where are you from?
China.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Poland.
Where are you from?
Samoa.
Samoa. Okay. So how are we going to, and where are you from?
Thailand.
Thailand. So I want you all to get together for 1 or 2 minutes. And I want you two to pair up, you two to pair up, and then I want all three of you all to pair up. Okay? So this is how we're going to do this, okay? You're going to discuss with your team, how do you greet someone from where you're from? So if you're from Hawaii, how would you greet a fellow Hawaiian? How would you greet a fellow Samoan? How would you greet a fellow Thailandese? We're going to do it that way. So I'm going to give y'all 1 or 2 minutes, and then after that, we're gonna do the role play, okay? So let's get started.
That's how I'm going to do it, right?
China.
Then I don't know in Thailand we just like do this. We call it why.
Hello.
Yeah.
Kind of about.
Unless it's like when we say sawadika.
High five.
Yeah, what's up?
American. What's
Yeah.
up? High five. China just say hi.
No, it's me.
People handshake.
Yeah, it's a Thai, how do you say hello?
Not cool.
Ni hao, ni hao. Hi, ni hao.
Yeah, they often ask you, do you eat? Yeah, they often ask, do you
How
eat?
do you say G?
你吃了吗? Have you eaten?
你吃了吗?
They care each other. They always ask.
Okay, first we'll go ahead and stand up and greet each other and based on where you're from. Yeah, actually do it.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Breathing. Someone.
Someone wait.
Okay, how would you greet someone from Hawaii? Okay, all right. Okay, you all stand up and do the same thing.
What's up?
And do Thai.
Thailand, how would you do it in Thai?
Chinese. Hey, 你好吗? 你好吗?
That was excellent. Well, what I wanted to try to do was to tap into your schema, okay? And we're going to be most of us are going to be teaching here in Hawaii, and we need to understand that we have to be able to make people feel invited. We have to be able to give an environment to facilitate an environment in which students will feel comfortable coming into our classroom, that parents are going to come in and say, you want to welcome the parents to be a part of their child's education, okay? Because the education don't stop when we walk out the door, when the child walks out the door. It's a continual process. The education process happens at home, it happens in the school also. So that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you all. And also being here in Hawaii, there's a word called aloha. I liken it to where I'm from, the South. I spent a lot of time in the South. I liken it to Southern hospitality. It's like the feeling of being at home even when you're in someone else's house. You know, and if you can't tap into that, if you have parents, you have kids coming into your classroom, and you can't tap into that feeling, okay, and tap into that schema, you're going to have problems, with mutual understandings, getting across, because you're going to have more than just parents come to your classroom and students. You're going to have principals. You're going to have other administrators. I like the word is called stakeholders. So you're going to have to be able to tap into that. Okay. The next thing I want to get into is defining, making a definition, defining what is a invitational teacher and everything. And I have a formal definition in which I gave out in handouts. And I would like my friend from Samoa to read the first definition. Invitational teacher. It's on the handout. Look on the last page.
We're still looking for it.
You're still looking for it? Okay, let me help you out here. Okay, go into the lesson plan that I gave you, the lesson plan. It's a short answer on page 3 of the lesson plan. And I want you to read invitational disinviting. What type of teacher is that? What does it say? Look on page 3. It's highlighted.
Unintentional disinviting?
Yeah.
Okay. Teachers, the unintentional disinviting teacher are obvious to the fact that they are negative students. They are well-meaning but are seen by others as being racist, sexist, patronizing, or thoughtless.
There you go. That's one definition. I mean, that's like saying a person can mean well, but they don't come across, but just because you mean to do something, that don't mean it's going to take place. Okay, they need to be brought into line to what is acceptable as a teacher, what is acceptable conduct as a teacher. And you'll find that some teachers are just condescending. They're not optimists. They talk to students in the wrong way. You'll never amount to nothing. That's what you learn at home. And you'll get these comments, and these comments make students not want to come into class. An inviting attitude is more than just meet and greet and everything. It's a continuous process. That invitational teacher is always thinking about how can I make my environment conducive for learning. Conducive for learning. A lot of times we go into classrooms, and I did my observation this week, and I looked in the classroom. Classroom didn't have any air conditioning. There was a divide against the wall. The divide was open. You could hear what was going on in the second class, in the class right next to it, because there was no windows up or doors to the next classroom. That type of environment, kids are disoriented because of the heat. You can hear what's going on in the other classroom. That type of environment is not conducive for learning. Kids need to feel comfortable when they come into the classroom. And I'm going to ask a question. Give me one thing. We'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes to discuss something in the classroom that when you walk into the classroom, you immediately feel comfortable with it. I want you to discuss something. Because I have some things, when I step into a classroom, I see something, I immediately feel comfort. Oh, okay. So if you all can discuss in this group that, and then in this group, discuss that. One thing that you feel comfortable with, and one thing you feel uncomfortable with.
No.
Yeah.
This is it? This is it?
I don't know why
The
I
light?
feel comfortable when the ground's carpet.
That's not it.
It's less,
Oh, there it is, right there. That's the thing.
I feel like it's more, I just grew up with carpet, so I'm used to like walking around. That's weird, but
Yeah, it is.
for some reason, I'm just encouraged two of my classes.
For me, to feel comfortable is like how they set the table. Like if you said something like this, kind of give me nervous that oh they're gonna ask me to do something. But if you like pair up, you have someone next to you, that make me more comfortable.
It's colorful and happy and welcoming. And there's like
I recommend the teachers have
like things that I've accomplished so they want to put it up and that's like
things that are just a little motivational.
oh look,
things
you're
just
doing
for fun. Reminds me of
comforting to know that
when school was.
my work is appreciated.
Okay, name one thing that makes you feel comfortable when you walk into a classroom, you see.
The setting,
Excuse me?
the setting, the
The
setting of the classroom.
The setting, okay. One thing for you, what makes you feel uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable?
Yes.
I think a classroom like this with like no pictures and white walls and
That's the environment. The environment. What about you?
Comfortable or uncomfortable?
One for uncomfortable, one for uncomfortable, one for comfortable.
Comfortable, I do like the posters on the walls.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable with the cameras.
Okay. All right. That's what it is. I mean, so we all, you know, and kids are the same way. When you walk into a classroom and they see decorations, they see things that that are interesting that they want to learn, and they want to learn about the children and students are the same way. When you walk in, all you have is a blackboard and white walls. The feeling, it feels cold. It feels empty. So that's one thing that's what an invitational or inviting teacher would do. He would set his classroom up so the kids would feel, or his students will feel comfortable. Some of the things that a teacher may feel discomfortable, some of the things that you may feel discomfortable with is not having air conditioning. As I discussed, having an open wall where you can hear what's over there that's going on in the next class. That's the type of environment that we don't want to have as educators. When people coming out, when any stakeholder coming out of class, it needs to be an inviting atmosphere if we're going to facilitate learning. One other thing that I love to see the cohort format. The cohort is where kids are set up on islands, okay? And for true learning to take place, dialogue needs to happen. Dialogue, not just a one-on-one dialogue, but the dialogue with the instructor and with the teacher. That's when true learning actually takes place.
Don't mind me. I'll just hide over here in the corner.
Okay.
Like a mouse.
I want you to go ahead and read the second portion of it, this highlight.
This one? Or
Yes.
this?
The first one. Did she read the first one or the second one?
I read the second one.
Read the first one.
okay. The intentional disinviting teacher deem discourage, defeat, and dissuade students.
Yes, that's exactly what a teacher is. This is worse. This is worse than the unintentional disinviting student, because this person is oblivious to the fact. He doesn't know what he's doing. But when you have an instructor or a teacher that stands up and he is intentionally disinviting, that means he's trying to discourage people from coming into his classroom, or discourage stakeholders from coming in here. Or worse than worse is that when the parents don't want their kids in your classroom, they want a different teacher because you've been there for so long. That's that teacher, okay? And some of the teachers, some of the students, some of these people don't have choices. You have to go to the school that's in your neighborhood where you got to pay for private school. So, go ahead.
Okay, since we're talking about the intentional disinviting teacher that discourages students, I'm just thinking about a teacher who gives their students time out, or like when they do something wrong in the classroom, they would just make them, like time out, when they tell them 30 minutes. Is that part of?
No, that's not what I'm getting at. Because correction needs to happen in the classroom sometimes. Correction needs to happen. I did my student teaching yesterday, and I was with Mr. Akata. He's a part of my class. He's in this class. Huh?
Is that the classroom by the elevator?
I'll talk to you. It's a class, and I had a student. I'm not going to tell you his name, but I had, we had a student. The student had a bad attitude, and sometimes you have to remove those students from the environment because one bad apple, it'll squish the whole batch. And when one student acts up, it's not just preventing other students from learning. It is an attack on the teacher's authority. So you have to remove that student out of his class. I'm talking about that teacher who says, why are you even here? You ain't no mountain nut. You too dumb to learn. I don't even know why you're here. I'm talking about that teacher that's intentionally dissuading students from working, from getting a good education. Okay, go ahead and turn that page over and go ahead and read the third one.
The intentionally inviting teacher are well-liked and are unaware why they are effective.
Right. Sometimes a part of your personality, part of your personality can be that you are likable. People like you and everything. But just because people like you, that does not mean that you're an effective teacher. Just because someone says, I like you, I always tell people, some people say, my doctor is a Christian. That's all it's fine and good. But can he operate? My teacher is Christian. I like her. She's nice. That's fine and good. But can she teach? This is what I'm saying, is that sometimes teachers don't know that they're being, invited. They're inviting the people in. It's just a part of who they are, their values and their upbringing. Okay? And when you encourage students, hey, I know you can do it. I knew you had it in you all along. I knew you were smart. I mean, that type of atmosphere wants the kid, that it brings the kids in. And those kids will remember you for generation after generation. I always tell the story, I'm gonna let you go. My mom is 70 years old. She can still remember my fourth grade teacher, how she felt, how a fourth grade teacher made her feel. People don't care about what you give them in certain situations. They care about how you make them feel at that particular moment in time. That's what people remember. Go ahead and read the last one. Yeah, the last one.
The intentionally inviting teachers have professional attitudes, work diligently and consistently, and strive to be more effective teachers.
There you go. That's what we should always strive to be. Intentional. Be intentional. Be ready to invite anyone in their classroom. And you're not going to get everybody on your boat. Now, all your teachers, not every student is going to like you. Not every parent is going to like you. Not everybody is going to be on your side. But if you are an effective educator, educator. Your validation will come from more than just a parent. It'll come from your students, it'll come from the principal, it'll come from other administrators in the school. All right, but you're not gonna get everybody on your boat. I don't want to get into it too far, but you're not. Okay. The last portion of this lesson I want to talk to you about is writing a good letter. Writing a great letter. Writing a letter of it's on the handout. It's on the first page. It's on the first page. Where you see the two letters there, not only they're right here. Let me show you. They're right there. Yeah, those are the two letters that were sent out at the beginning of school to teachers. Go ahead and turn that off. And if anyone else got on their cell phones, please turn them off, please. Okay, there you go. I want you all to think about how, not just, because this lesson is more than just writing a letter. It's having the right attitude all year long, because all semester long, because you're going to see these students all year. So go ahead, I'm gonna give y'all 1 or 2 minutes to look it over. It's on the front, it's on the first page, and I just want y'all to read those short letters. See that letter? It was beautiful, and it got to the point and everything. So it actually invited that mother or that parent into your classroom. Get involved, and you're gonna have to make that connection with parents. You're gonna have to make it with everyone if you're gonna survive. You can't do it by yourself. You need support from your parents. We need support from other stakeholders in the community, okay? If true learning is going to occur in your classroom.